You've reread the same unanswered text 5 times now, searching for some hidden meaning buried in just a few words. By the third reread, you've already imagined 3 completely different reasons they haven't replied yet, and none of them are good. Is this just caring a lot about someone, or does this specific feeling actually have a real psychological name? It does. It's called anxious attachment, and it's a genuine, well-documented pattern that's far more common than most people realize. This isn't about being too much or too needy. It's a real attachment style, with real, identifiable psychological roots. Understanding your own pattern is often the very first step toward loosening its grip on how you experience relationships. Today we're covering this in 3 parts. A quick refresher on what anxious attachment actually is, 8 real signs, and what genuinely helps. By the end, you'll likely have language for a feeling you've experienced plenty of times, but never quite been able to name. Let's start with a quick refresher on exactly where this attachment pattern actually comes from in the first place. If you watched our earlier video on attachment theory, you'll remember Bowlby's research and Ainsworth's famous strange situation experiment. That research identified 3 main adult attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, and secure, each with a distinct underlying pattern. Anxious attachment often forms when early caregiving was inconsistent, sometimes warm and present, sometimes distracted or unavailable. In response, a child's nervous system learns an important lesson. Staying close requires constant vigilance, or connection might disappear. As an adult, that vigilance doesn't simply switch off. It just quietly redirects itself toward partners, friends, even coworkers. None of this makes someone flawed or broken. It's a nervous system doing exactly what it learned to do long ago. This list isn't meant for harsh self-diagnosis. It's meant to help you recognize a real pattern with genuine compassion. Some of these signs might feel like they describe your entire personality. That reaction is completely normal, so keep listening. Others might describe someone you love instead of yourself, which is honestly just as useful to notice and understand. Let's get into all 8 real, recognizable signs now, starting with the single most common one of all. Sign number 1. Needing constant reassurance, over and over, even from people who love you and show it regularly. This often looks like repeatedly asking, "Do you still love me?" or "Are we okay?" again and again and again. The reassurance genuinely helps, but usually only briefly, before that same underlying doubt slowly starts creeping back in. It's not that the reassurance isn't believed. It's that the underlying alarm system never fully switches all the way off. This ties directly back to a nervous system that learned to stay alert, even when everything is objectively fine. That's sign number 1. Sign number 2 is just as common, and just as exhausting to actually live with. Sign number 2, overanalyzing texts, especially delayed replies, reading enormous meaning into things that might mean absolutely nothing. A single period instead of an exclamation point. A reply that came an hour later than usual. Both suddenly feel significant. A short, ordinary reply can spiral into an entire imagined story about rejection in just a matter of seconds. This happens because the brain treats ambiguous signals as potential threats, actively scanning for danger inside plain silence. Most of the time, absolutely nothing is actually wrong. But that scanning habit hasn't quite gotten the memo yet. That's sign 2. Sign number 3 is one of the clearest, most defining signs of anxious attachment specifically. Sign number 3, a fear of abandonment that feels disproportionately large compared to the actual relationship you're in. A small, ordinary disagreement can suddenly trigger a full, spiraling fear that this person is about to leave for good. That fear usually isn't really about this one specific moment. It's a much older fear, simply wearing a new face. Even inside a genuinely stable, healthy relationship, this fear can keep quietly running in the background, unnoticed by others. Out of all 8 signs, this fear of abandonment is often one of the clearest fingerprints of this specific pattern. That's sign 3. Sign number 4 shows up less in relationships themselves and more in the spaces between them. Sign number 4, genuine discomfort with being single or with spending any extended amount of time completely alone. There's often a strong pull to fill any relationship gap quickly, sometimes before really even knowing the other person. Alone time, instead of feeling peaceful, can end up feeling strangely unsafe, restless, or genuinely quite unbearable. This connects directly back to that early lesson. Closeness equals safety, a lesson learned very early on in life. Being single isn't actually dangerous, but the nervous system, quite literally, may never have gotten that specific memo. That's sign 4. Sign number 5 is subtle, and it often gets mistaken for something else entirely. Sign number 5. Hyperawareness of a partner's mood, noticing every single small shift, almost instantly, every time. A slightly different tone of voice, a change in posture, a shift in energy, all noticed within just seconds. This can look like emotional intelligence from the outside, but it's often coming from anxiety, not calm awareness. The nervous system is actively scanning for early warning signs of disconnection, constantly, almost entirely without conscious effort. It's genuinely exhausting to sustain that level of attention, especially when, most of the time, nothing is actually wrong. That's sign 5. Sign number 6 shows up specifically in how conflict, or the fear of conflict, gets handled. Sign number 6. Real difficulty saying no, or setting even small, reasonable boundaries with people close to you. There's often a strong pull to prioritize keeping the peace over ever actually expressing a genuine personal need. Underneath, it is usually a specific fear that setting a boundary might cause someone to pull away or leave. So instead, the boundary gets quietly swallowed again and again, rather than ever actually being spoken out loud. Over time, all those swallowed boundaries can slowly build into quiet resentment, hidden just beneath a calm surface. That's sign 6. Sign number 7 can feel especially confusing because it doesn't always come from real evidence. Sign number 7. Jealousy that isn't really rooted in anything someone actually did, but in a feeling instead. The jealousy gets sparked by a vague feeling or a vibe, rather than by any specific, concrete action. Left with an ambiguous, unclear gap, the mind tends to automatically fill it in with worst-case scenarios. This is genuinely different from jealousy triggered by real, actual red flags that someone has clearly shown you. It's the anxious system searching for confirmation of its oldest fear, being replaced, or simply not being enough. That's sign 7. And sign number 8 actually has a real, official name straight from attachment research. Sign number 8 is called protest behavior, a genuine, well-documented term used directly in real attachment literature. This looks like withdrawing, going quiet, or acting distant, specifically to see whether a partner notices and comes closer. Sometimes it even looks like picking a small fight, just to get a reaction that proves they still care. This usually isn't manipulation in a calculated, deliberate sense. It's often an unconscious test, quietly searching for reassurance. The tricky part is that this test can accidentally create the exact disconnection it was originally trying to prevent. And that's all 8 signs. Now let's talk about what genuinely actually helps with a pattern like this. Recognizing these signs in yourself isn't self-judgment. It's simply useful information, not any kind of a final verdict. This pattern is genuinely common, extremely well documented by researchers, and, importantly, it is not permanent at all. Researchers actually describe something called earned secure attachment, a real, genuinely achievable shift that happens over time. The first real step is simply naming the pattern in the moment. This is the anxious alarm, not necessarily reality. That one small, deliberate pause creates real space between the initial feeling and whatever reaction usually follows automatically. The second helpful step is practicing self-soothing first, before immediately reaching outward for reassurance from someone else. This doesn't mean you should never ask for reassurance again. It means not relying on it as your only tool. The third step is deliberately choosing relationships and friendships with people who are genuinely consistent, rather than chaotic. Consistency can feel unfamiliar at first, even a little boring. That's a nervous system recalibrating, not a red flag. The fourth step is therapy, especially attachment-focused therapy, which has genuinely strong research support behind real, lasting change. The fifth step is simple patience. These patterns took years to fully form, and they loosen gradually, not overnight. Every single time the anxious alarm goes off and nothing bad actually happens, that becomes new evidence for the nervous system. Over time, that accumulating evidence genuinely does add up, slowly and steadily shifting the entire underlying emotional baseline. None of this requires becoming a completely different person. It just means gently updating a very old, outdated alarm system. This is genuinely one of the most well-researched and most changeable patterns in all of modern attachment psychology. So here's a quick recap. Anxious attachment often forms from inconsistent care very early on in someone's life. It shows up as constant reassurance seeking, overanalyzing, disproportionate fear of abandonment, and several other recognizable signs like it. None of these 8 signs mean someone is broken, dramatic, or genuinely too much for the people around them. It's simply a nervous system that learned, a long time ago, that staying alert was necessary to stay connected. And that same nervous system can genuinely be updated, gradually, with real-time, honest awareness, and the right support. If several of these signs felt uncomfortably familiar to you, that's genuinely worth sitting with quietly, not panicking over. Consider quietly sharing this video with someone who might recognize a little bit of themselves in it too. If this helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe for more honest psychology breakdowns like this one.